I'll start.
Okay, go ahead.
Thin at running back, and I was wondering, I mean, is it to a point to where you tell C.J. Fuller to put on a helmet and pads if you needed him to throw him, or no, to go with what you got?
No, I think at this point you go with what you got. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. With us getting Tyshawn Dye back, and at least getting him back into more of a role in practice, and to see how he responds through contact and practice. I think you before you get to that point, you kind of pump the brakes a little bit on it. It's kind of just it's one of those years. It's just kind of unfortunate, when we lost Zach Brooks and now losing Adam, and we've been very, very fortunate around here for the last 3 years with avoiding injuries, for the most part. You have your typical injuries, but it just seems like this year it's just been a little bit different. It's been a little bit different on the, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We've had a few guys that we were counting on and kind of missing some extended time. So, but you just kind of, that's football. That's the way it goes. You deal with it.
The hope is to have Tyshawn play this Saturday?
Well, I mean, he's going to practice, so it's hard to say at this point. I mean, you would if it goes like we think it could go, you hope he could play some. How much, I don't know. He hadn't played football in 2 years. But he definitely would provide us some depth to a position that was, at the start of the year was pretty much the strength of our offense, that was from the depth standpoint. And now we're kind of, you are depleted a little bit right now. So you hope that he's able to come back, have a really good week of practice, and see how it goes, and be able to get in and get some type of playing. How many snaps, I don't know. Definitely a big back that's would provide a downhill presence about himself. So he worked out a little bit last week, or he did work out last week, but as far as any full contact, he was not in any full contact at all.
And if not this Saturday, you got 12 days for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect to see him back in the mix, eventually. I think if it goes as a plan this week, we hope to get him some playing time this week. We hope. There's a lot of moving parts to some things. It would be simple for him, but we're excited about getting him back. Really are.
Chad, how much more settled do you feel in this offense after Saturday, or is there still frustration that they're not putting up?
Well, I mean, again, you go back and look at the last 2 weeks. You've played two really good defenses. We knew they were, top 10 defense. I mean, it's just kind of. You got to give those guys credit. They thought they tackled really well, but the thing that obviously we want to put up points, and that's our job, and it doesn't matter who's out there. That's what we're here to do, and that's what we want to do, and when we're not doing that, then there is some frustration. There is some sense of urgency about ourselves, and these guys got pride, and they take a lot of pride in what they do. Our coaches take pride in what they do, and we've got a great plan coming in, and it just seems it's 2 weeks in a row now with a big part of our plan. In the first two drives of the game, you essentially lose a big part of your plan, and so you kind of scramble and adjust and make do, and that tells you a lot about our players. I mean, you're playing 17 guys, however many guys we're playing. I mean, those guys they keep fighting, they keep scratching, and they find a way, and that's a credit. You got a bunch of young guys that are hitting with some adversity. I don't know, I guess it could keep getting worse in some areas, but these guys are battling and fighting and scratching, and so I was definitely proud of the way that we found a way again 2 weeks in a row, especially at the end of the game when we had to have it. We found it, and we did it. It's just there's still a lot of inconsistency. There's too much inconsistencies. There's too much of you just almost have to be absolute perfect to create just anything. And that's a frustration part of it, that you just it's not an effort. It's the guys are giving great effort. It's just we'll have everybody had it up, and we may slip and fall. We'll have everybody hat it up and we'll make a wrong read. We'll have a defensive end squeeze and we got the exact what we want out on the edge and we miss it. So it's just an inconsistency that you have, and so, but it's not an effort. I'm extremely proud of our effort. These guys are playing hard, and it's going to come. Again, I'm going to give the past two opponents credit too. I mean, they were definitely very good defenses, and but hey, it's coming, and we're excited about it, and we've seen what we can do when we're clicking and getting in a rhythm. And it's all about creating momentum.
Chad, all that being said, it's not your side of the ball, but it's got to be satisfying to see the way Clemson's defense is playing and knowing that, hey, if we put points on the board, more than likely they're gonna hold us.
There's no question. I mean, it's extremely gratifying to know that we've got a group of guys on that side of the ball that on the defense side of the ball that are playing as well as anybody in the country. We see them every day, and so I know what other teams have to go against, and I'm just glad they're on our team. And but it forces you to, and you try to tell our guys, hey, we don't have to be perfect. These guys are gonna. We got a good defense. We just can't make stupid mistakes that puts these guys behind the change or put us in a bad situation. And because of that, there's some different trains of thoughts that come into play as you call plays, and to where in the past you may be a little bit more of aggressive, and given some of the circumstances we're dealing with, I mean, you try to play the odds, you try to play some of the game in that regard, but we're going to be who we are. And we're fortunate enough to have a really good defense. That those guys take great pride in what they're doing, and so yes, that's absolutely.
Your receivers made a couple of pass breakups on Cole's throws.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see on Scott's decisions?
Well, I thought number one, I thought Cole played much better than he did the week before. I really did. I thought he made the right throws at the right time. The deep ball, the outside ball to Mike Williams on that 3rd and 10 was as big a throw as we had in the game. We missed a few early that I thought we could have had early. We had some guys on some over routes that we could have maybe hit earlier in the game that maybe kept a drive going. I think there was a couple balls that obviously that Cole wish he had back. They might have been a little late on the throw, but Stanton Seconder did a really good job of breaking up one, and Artavis Scott did an unbelievable job of breaking up another one. And so those are just things that it's all about a timing issue with him, and again, you're looking at a guy that's the last time he's really gotten game experience reps with a game on the line would be early in Florida State, prior to the week before, and the guy didn't even practice all week. So I think Cole is going to continue to get better with game experience, and his decision making obviously improved from week to week, and we expect it to improve this week. So
is he reading through his progression the way you hope?
Well, I think he's doing a good job of it right now. I mean, he's obviously got to get better in some areas, and he's got to anticipate some throws a little bit more, a little quicker, and he sees that. But he is. I thought he did a good job on several of his throws across the middle to Mike, and obviously the last ball was as big as we had.
You said the offensive line, those 5 guys, how they played the other day?
I thought they played. I thought they played well. I really did. I thought Isaiah Battle probably played his best game, which was good to see. There's no question on that. I thought he played his best game. David Beasley continues to play as consistent as anybody that we have. Kalon is playing consistent. May not have had his best game, but he played pretty well. Reed, again, asking Reed to do a lot. I don't know I think Reed has had a lot better games, but again, he did some good things for us, and some, especially on that last drive. I mean, again, you're talking about 5 guys. That's 2 weeks in a row that 5 guys have gotten 81 snaps, and Ryan Norton was I don't think he played quite as well as he did the week before, but our snaps have been consistent, and so he's got to continue to get better, as we all do. And again, that just comes with playing time. But we've kind of found that those 5 guys, and they're playing well together right now. And I think our pass protection, I think we gave up 1 sack, but our pass protection, these guys are doing a really good job in that right now, and so I'm pleased with that.
Chad, Syracuse obviously picked up some confidence with a win at Wake. What have you seen from their defense so far?
Well, they like to pressure. They'll do a lot of pressure in different fronts. They try to do it, and they do a really good job of disguising their coverages. They're going to try to obviously make Cole decision making and make him try to read some of the things that they're doing, try to disguise it and get into some of the pressures a little bit late and kind of tip some of the coverages. But they're a good defense. They're obviously got a win last week, so they got a little bit of momentum going right now. And again, and I go back, it's about us. I mean, truly probably more so right now than at any point in time since I've been here. It's about us, and it's about can we get some consistency in some areas that we need. I thought our third down game, we were 10 of 20. I know it's 10 of 21, but the third down that we hit the end of the game, it really goes to 10 of 20. So our third down production was much better. It was much better in the first half. So that was a big time improvement from the week before, where we were just atrocious on third down. We've got to continue to win first downs. I think that's a job that we've been inconsistent on, is our first down production right now. So.
Have you valued time of possession more this year than the last couple of years?
Well, you try not to look at it that way. I mean, there's some things that I'm doing from a play caller. Again, this has just been a unique year in the way that you practice. Just the overall how we practice is completely different than what we've done in many years. And you got to be smart in your practice and in how you're managing your guys right now because of the depth. Again, I think I've said it before. I mean, you can burn them out on Tuesday and Wednesday in a hurry, and so just the way we practice, and we're slowing down some of the process and just slowing down some of the pace that we are in practice right now because of that. Now, will we purposely the time of possession, is it, am I looking at that at halftime and at the end of the game? Not really. No, you're just trying to get in a rhythm. As a play caller, you try to get in a rhythm, and when you're in a rhythm, things are rocking and rolling, and when you're not, you're scrambling. You're trying to let's get something that'll get us going and get some confidence in some guys and just creating yards on first down. So,
Going back to Tyshawn, when you've seen him in practice, what kind of back is he? Where does he feel? What does he remind you of?
Well, when we saw him last was in fall camp of when he was fall camp of 2 years ago. He's a big, violent runner. He's a big back, explosive. He's got his center of gravity is unbelievable. I mean, his ability to change directions and to kind of go from speed to power, I guess, is the biggest thing I'd say with him. It's really hard to compare him to. I don't know. We don't have anybody like that. I mean, he's similar to Adam in his low center of gravity, but again, you're talking about a guy that's 2 years removed, and so he's got to get back into full football shape. But I expect to see him in more of a downhill roll type of runner. That's kind of where I'm anticipating seeing him. Watching him in high school, just a phenomenal back in high school. If you remember, he was actually the first guy that I offered when we got here. I mean, Coach Elliott and I, that was the first offer that we gave out, and then followed by Deshaun. And so, definitely there's something there. I mean, we've just got to. I know he's excited, and we're excited for him, and we're excited for us right now. So.
himself very valuable to you, receiver. Can you speak to what he's done to elevate himself in that respect?
Yeah, and I think we've seen that since fall camp. We really challenged him in fall camp. I thought he had just an average, at best, camp, and to the point where we were looking at either putting him on a bench or moving him, and he wasn't playing with any confidence. And then to watch him progress, and obviously he dropped a few balls throughout the course of the season. Dropped a couple last week, dropped a few at Georgia, but just his ability to go out and make plays. I mean, the catch that he made out here a few weeks ago, laying out flat, and so I think what he's meant to us right now is definitely provided some consistency and the ability to get open, and gives us a deep ball presence and just a possession type of guy. And again, I know he's made a few drops, but a guy that's really worked hard to get to where he is today, and really excited for him. He and Cole need to develop that continuity. I think that's something that they're staying after practice more, a little bit longer, a few more balls at the end of practice, or whatever it is to develop that deep ball consistency. I thought we had a couple the other night that we weren't in sync on it, and we had a chance to at least let Mike go make a play, and I think some of the things with Mike and his route running can keep getting better. He's got to definitely improve in that regard. And so those are just some little things, but obviously a big asset to us right now.
Chad, how close is Sharon to getting that?
I'm not at liberty to discuss all that. I don't know.
Back to Mike, did you see a change? Did you see a change? Was it a noticeable change?
Yeah, I mean, I think he challenged himself as well. I think he saw it. I mean, everything we were saying, he didn't disagree with us, and I think he saw the fact that he better change his approach to things, or he's going to be over there with us. And so, I think he definitely saw that. He knew what he's capable. I think the valuable reps that he got a year ago was so critical, and to seeing him be able to overcome some adversity early on, because had this been a year ago with a true freshman maybe having adversity early, guys like that have a tendency to lose their confidence, and it may take them the entire year to get it back. But because he played last year and had some success and made some big catches in big games for us, he knew that he just had to keep working and keep pushing and keep trusting the fact that what we were saying and how we were coaching him was going to pull him through the knothole, so to speak. And obviously I think the results have kind of shown themselves right now. He's playing well, and he's blocking well. Let me back that up too. There's some things that he's everybody sees him catching a ball or dropping a ball. I mean, he's doing some really good things in the blocking. And that's, a matter of fact, the one of the touchdowns the other night, the first touchdown the other night to Wayne Gallman. I mean, he had the key block that sprung Wayne in the secondary, and so same way with CJ as well. So he's definitely playing at a high level. I mean, he can still get better though. We got to still improve some of the route running, but he's playing well.
Chad, you mentioned a couple times how unique this year is. I mean, if you could expound on that a little bit as far as, maybe there's, I don't know, is there 30% of what you used to call all the time regularly here just not available? You can't even take it off the shelf because of the things that your offense is going through, injuries and youth and depth.
It's really hard to put, what's the exact percentage. Are we where we were early in the year? No. Are we where we were a year ago? Absolutely not. 2 years ago? Absolutely not. Our first year here, very similar early in the year. And so, yes. Yeah, the uniqueness of it. I mean, and it's football. That's just part of it. There's no excuses to be made. It's just football. You deal with it, and you try to do what you can do and do it the best you can do. and with given your circumstances. You can't change that. That's something no one has any control over. But if you'd have told us at the start of the year, you'd be sitting and now you're losing other guys and compounding things. I mean, that's just part of the game. You know that you're not going to make it through an entire season without somebody suffering an injury that's going to prolong a few weeks. But and so you do. You may have to get simpler. And that's kind of what we've tried to do, is get simpler and let's do what we can do and let's try to do it the best we can do it.
Do you do simpler though? I mean, I know you have to. But
well, I think well, no, I mean, absolutely, yeah, you have to. You have to. From the way you practice. And it starts with the way you practice, and and I've said it before. Time is a coach's enemy, because the more time you have, the more stuff you want to put in, the more things you want to do, and you want to grow the offense the way you want to grow it. And there's a plan, and we've seen it in action. And I got a calendar. This is what I really want to be at this week and this week and this week, all the way through the course of the season. This is where it's laid out. I do it every year. This is where we want to be with it. And given the circumstances, if everything goes good, you stay with that plan. If you don't, you say, well, okay, we can't. We got to do this, and you got to move forward. Again, it's football, and it's part of it, and you move forward, and you do what you can do, and you do it to the strengths of the guys that you got, and they're giving us all they got, and they're working hard. And effort, like I said earlier, effort's not a problem. It's just one of those. We hadn't had this type of talk in 3 prior years, and we've been very blessed and very fortunate. We've always read about everybody else and other people, but it's been it just happens.
Right. I just asked because I'm thinking of your Red Bull commercial promo.
Oh yeah.
All everything.
Yeah.
All over.
No, we're only a 1 marker into it right now. We hadn't burned up the markers yet. So.
Is it a difference in player comprehension from 3 years ago?
Nah, well, I don't know if it's so much player comprehension or not. I mean, we got a lot of young guys now. Again, these are some younger guys that, your lack of, I guess, your veterans that are with lack of experience. So again, you just try to do what they can do, and you grow it, and we're still going to continue to add to our offense. But it just not be at the pace that we're going to add at in the past.